Hello and welcome to Simple Life Philosophy. I'm your host, Ed Raby. This is the channel that asks the question, can we discover together, perhaps, a philosophy of life that is simple both to understand and to apply to our lives? Where we're trying to help ourselves, at least I'm trying to be on a journey, a voyage of finding this philosophy that I can apply to my life, simplify my life and make it very focused. And that is the goal and aim of this channel, is to kind of, basically vlog about that from time to time with my own personal journey, but also discuss philosophy and try to break it down, not so much that it's simple to understand sometimes, but there's plenty of other channels that will take philosophical terms and other things and break them down. My goal, as always, is to look at philosophical systems and say, how do they apply? I've far more interested in application than I ever was in the theoretics of any idea, and so philosophy is no different. Today, though, I want to take a look at the three foundational principles of Stoicism. Now, Stoicism is a new thing for me, so I might get a few things wrong. You're certainly welcome to correct me in the comments. If you think there's some differences of opinion, that's more than welcome too, because the more I delve into philosophy, the more I realize philosophies are kind of like tools in a toolbox. And what kind of brand of tool you want to use, what kind of different things that you need to use. You can pick and choose and think and put different things in that. That's why I've said that my four pillars include pagan philosophy, minimalism, and essentialism, as well as Stoicism, because to me, sometimes Stoicism needs a more practical application, and looking at minimalism and essentialism can do that. And there are certainly some pagan philosophical systems that also deal more with application, and that's why I'm more interested in them. But today I want to talk about those three guiding principles of Stoicism. Now, the first of these is virtue is the thing that is important. Everything else is indifferent. Now, it might be a positive indifference, like being rich, being smart, having positive things that go for you, but it's an indifference. The main idea behind Stoicism is virtue is something that you will not sacrifice regardless of what it is that the price is being paid. That the most important thing is to follow after virtue, maintain virtue, and never sacrifice your integrity for something outside of virtue. Never trade away your virtue for something that is just basically an indifferent quality that's not going to last. This is probably one of the biggest things that attracted me to Stoicism in the first place, is this focus on virtue, because I'm very focused on virtue as well. When I left Christianity and became an atheist, one of the things that concerned me personally was I realized the necessity and value of having a personal life philosophy with virtues, a code of living, because otherwise you could be, kind of rudderless as far as dealing with life. And so the thing is not so much what we do so much as whether or not we maintain our virtue while we do it. There can be some things that are positive and negative in our life, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those are pursuing virtue. Virtue is something you're not going to give up, no matter what. You're going to keep your integrity, you're going to keep your morals and your ethics, and you're going to keep on the line. And Stoicism definitely says, listen, virtue is the thing. Pursuing virtue, having virtue is the thing. It is the main thing. You're kind of going forward with that. And this is one of the things that ultimately attracted me to Stoicism, is this commitment to virtue. I'm a follower of the 9 Noble Virtues of Asatru, even though I have no spiritual connection to the pagan Asatru thing, but the idea of the 9 Noble Virtues appealed to me very early in my deconversion process. And because of that, I said, listen, I need a code that's based on virtue. I need a warrior's mindset with a warrior code. And so it really, really worked for me. Now, the second thing of Stoicism is follow after your nature, follow your true nature. Basically, after a long discussion of what makes human beings, is the idea that we are reason. Reason is the thing that separates us from the animals, that we have this rational capacity to engage our society and make our society better. A lot of people accuse the Stoics of being indifferent to what society says, but that's not true. Their central tenets basically says, hey, we as a group, there are two things that set us apart from the animals, is that it's absolutely essential that we're social creatures, and it's absolutely essential that we're rational creatures. So we take the rationality that we have and apply it to our society to make a better society. So we pursue virtue on our own. We encourage others to pursue virtue on their own in an effort that all of us, as we grow in virtue and we become better and better, we thus create a better society. And this is a great practical application of an idea and a philosophical system, because one of the great problems that a lot of people have is, how exactly do I build a better society? I have always believed that we have to approach the problem rationally. Now, people follow their passions more than they follow reason, but a good Stoic recognizes that, because that leads into the third and final thing, and that is learning that there are only so many things that you can control, and learning that there are things outside of your control. It is called the dichotomy of control. There are some things that are definitely within my power to change, mostly involving myself, mostly involving my habits, involving my pursuit of virtue. But there's a lot of things outside my control. A lot of things that I just can't control. I don't control the weather every day. I don't control how people are going to respond to me. I think when you look at many people's notion of fate, fate isn't so much a fatalistic, this is the way the future is going to go, but fate is more that which one does not control. Outside of your control is called fate. And what is within your control is within your own power to change. And it's understanding and coming to an understanding of what you can control and what you can influence. Now, you may not be able to control certain people's attitudes or opinions to you, but you certainly can influence those by your own behavior towards those people. And I think that's the real key here. This is another reason why I like Stoicism so much, even though it has its flaws, and I'm sure we'll come up with those as we go throughout, video after video. There'll be plenty of times to discuss the flaws of Stoicism and why other philosophical systems may be a little bit stronger in that particular instance. But this is one of the strengths of Stoicism to me, because you sit there and you go, now wait a minute, I need to focus on the things that I can control, and I need to identify and have the wisdom to know when there's something beyond my control. Because I think a lot of people just, they're incessantly worried, they're incessantly anxious about things that they really can't control, that they really don't have any power over. And it's wisdom, ultimately, then, to learn how to distinguish between the two, to distinguish between what is in our control and not. I think a good example of this, I was thinking about how a good way to illustrate this. It's like being the coach of a team. And this may relate to some of my family members too. But a coach can come up with a game plan. He can come up with a practice schedule. The coach can set the parameters. He can influence the attitude of the team by being the heart and soul, and the head coach and other coaches can really say, this is the tone we want to set for our team this year. This is the thing that we're going to do. But can the coach actually play the game? No, that's outside of his control. Can he control what his players ultimately do? No, beyond his control. Okay, and there's a certain element where you focus on what you need to do and what you can control, and then the results may not be up to you. And a Stoic kind of accepts either way what the result might be. In our coach example, let's say the coach wins the victory. Well, I won that, but you know what? There was a lot of things beyond my control, and my players had control of that, and they deserve the credit for winning the game. and this is how, to me, a proper coach's attitude should be. Is there were things that I did, yeah, I can pat myself on the back of those. There's a lot of things out of my side of my control that I just influenced, and I looked and, oh, these players stepped up. Good on them. Good on them. And I think that's kind of an interesting way of looking at life, because I think it really focuses your efforts. And this is where I reach out into like essentialism, because essentialism really focuses on the essential actions, okay, that you need to take, and the essential things you need to focus on. And I think it's a very practical modern philosophy that deals with that. And so that's where the Stoicism kind of reaches out into that. So, and this is kind of where I'm at. The reason I decided to do this video today is because I'm almost done with the book. Okay, I'm almost done with How to Be a Stoic. I'm in the last chapter, and this actually comes from the last chapter of that book, and where I'm starting to get into the 12 practical exercises. And then very soon I'm going to start rereading this one chapter at a time, reviewing that chapter and talking about it on this channel. I'm not going to spoil the book for you, but I am going to talk about reviewing some of the ideas I find intriguing in each chapter. But today I wanted to get out these three kind of principles that I've gleaned from the overall reading of this book so far. And that is this idea, hey, virtue is the thing. That is the main thing to pursue. You need to follow after your rational nature that helps build a better society. And you have to realize in building that better society, there are some things in your control and some things that are beyond your control. And you need to focus your attention and your efforts, and even how you feel about the consequences of certain actions based on what is within your control and what is not. Now, maybe I messed something up. Maybe I'm not quite understanding something very well. If anybody thinks that they can add to this discussion, you're more welcome to talk to me in the comments and leave a comment. Right now the channel is small enough that I can do that. As time goes by, maybe I won't be able to do that. But right now I'm kind of very pleased with how things are going. And I want to thank everybody who's subscribed in the last few days. It's been great. The videos will keep coming. I've got a couple housekeeping videos to do, like return users or subscribers. I've got a video I'm trying to put together for them. But very soon we're going to start zipping through this book, How to Be a Stoic, and hopefully kind of wrap up Stoicism and that with that as we do that. I want you to thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate all of you. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it. Either way, I get the attention. Share the video with your friends. If you think it's something they'd be interested in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit your notification bell, comment below. Every little bit helps. I appreciate all of you. This has been Simple Life Philosophy, and I've been your host, Ed Raby, and this is the video for today. So I appreciate every one of you once again. Sorry for the jump cut there, but there was a little bit of a mini crisis. But I do want to thank you all, and have a great day.